that being said, let's go back to Jedediah's the Black Cookout Association comment. So there's a big debate right now, where a lot of people are like, most people that I see the consensus, especially people in and around Dalton and Southland, are like they don't have any type of remorse for what he said. They think
Hmm.
it was rightly deserved as far as calling her talking about things. Um, and then there's a lot of people who are like, you know what? I don't think he should have went there, and it kind of just took it to a certain
You
place.
know what? My opinion and my thoughts is that he called me one like 2 weeks ago, probably, and I know that I didn't deserve it. He was trying to discredit me as a resident, and I didn't deserve that. And instead of him coming out and being remorseful, apologizing, the text message he sent me was basically "f me." But I moved past it. Did it hurt? Absolutely, that hurt my feelings because I know that I'm not that word. If that makes sense to you.
Absolutely.
So I just say that it's not surprising that he said it because she's not the first person that he's called out of their names, and
Hmm.
he has called other women or the females that word. So it's not surprising to me that he used that word. Do I think it was right? No, I wouldn't get up there and call her that. And I despise her, despise her.
Right.
I would
I
have said everything else he said, but I wouldn't have called her that
Yeah.
because I know that those are fighting words.
Right.
When
Right.
you call somebody out of their name, the B word, those are fighting words. And you got to be able to be ready to do what you need to do because most people are not about to allow you to just keep calling them out of their name in their face, especially if they got a significant other that's sitting there watching you disrespect their woman. That
Yeah.
happens. I mean, was he right? Was he wrong? He The thing about him doing it is the reason why I'm not mad because he got out of character. You got to understand that sometimes you got to go to those type of lengths to get somebody to do something that they normally would not do. So we can really truly see the type of hood rat she really is. So for that one, like I call her a hood rat because that's the behavior she displayed.
Hmm.
She ran out and got on a pile of men to fight. Most women, I'm not gonna do that. If I know my guys got that, I'm not gonna jump in no men fight. Y'all gonna knock me out. Like for real, for real.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm
Exactly.
not about to do that. Especially when you got security guards and you got your guy and his other friends. Unless you already know that Lavelle was gonna hurt your guy. That's why she went and jumped in that pile. It was because she was trying to protect him.
Based on, yeah, I mean, honestly, as a man, I'll be honest with you. Based on the angles that I saw, Lavelle looked like he got more squabbles than Kamal. I ain't
Absolutely.
gonna lie to you. He got some
Absolutely.
squabbles.
Kamal bent over a lot, and then his pants were so tight. I was like, "Please stop. I need to grow up." I know,
You know what? But
but they was tight. Sorry, you don't have to edit that out. They was very tight.
no, it is what it is. I mean, it ain't what anybody. It ain't. I'm sure other people would have observed that too. But you know, this ain't the '90s no more. Where we
No,
wear our pants baggy. You know what I'm saying?
no, I don't.
But
I don't get the tight jeans for the guys, but to each his own. To each his
but
own.
but you know what? You touched on something. So I'm not trying to pass judgment either. I could see from both angles, and I read a lot of the comments and saw a lot of the consensus. And like I
Hmm.
said, most of it wasn't really like feeling bad for Tiffany, but then there were people who did say. I kind of thought about the same way. I'm like, well, if I get up there and I'm going to call her a B,
Hmm.
even if her guy doesn't want to fight me, he got to fight me.
Absolutely,
You dig what I'm saying? Like if someone
absolutely.
calls my wife a bitch in front
In
of my
front of you,
face,
it's
and
on.
and not on top of that, now
Hmm.
I didn't talk about your child.
Yep.
I didn't talk about the fact you ain't never gonna be married. Um, And I
Yeah.
think those were kind of the sharpest thing.
He
Like what people
completely
think I don't
insulted
touch.
her, which was probably a lot of it was true.
A
But
lot of it was true. And again, I'm
but
not
when you
passing
add
judgment.
that B word on top of it, that
Yeah,
sends
that was
people
like
over. Because you
that's
can
like the
talk about
icing.
me, you can talk about my disability, you can talk about how you think I'm ugly, but don't call me out my name. That's totally different. Like when
It's
you
yes.
call somebody out their name, that's fighting words. I don't care about you talking about me because some of the things I can already show other people that, it is what it is. I'm not about to try and prove myself. But when you call
Yeah.
me out my name to something that's unwarranted, those are fighting words.
Well,
Anywhere in America.
two things. If I talk about your child, because that's
Absolutely.
something I don't really play that either. You
I
can't
don't
talk
play.
about my
Don't talk
kids.
about my kids. Don't
Yeah,
don't bring my kids. Kids are off limits.
kids are off limits. Don't bring up
Kids are
kids.
off limits.
So
Unless
those were
you
the only.
saying something good about my kids, don't bring my kids up.
That was the only cringy thing to me. You know what I'm saying? Again, and I'm just saying from outside
Mm-hmm.
point of view, it was a little cringy to hear about anybody's child. I ain't bringing nobody's kid up. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So the kid and then calling her a B, I think.
Yep.
So I guess I bring that up to say that I wonder if Jed was expecting a fight to happen, or because I think
I think so. I think that this environment has been toxic for so long. And like I said, remember him and DeMarcus was having a little combative issue in the back already, right before he got up to speak.
hmm
So from what I was told, and I didn't go and actually watch the video to see. Oh my leg. Oh, I gotta start my therapy. So Tiffany gave Kamal the go ahead to kick it off. That's why Kamal came walking up on him
yeah,
because
yeah,
remember he was sitting in that chair and he was listening until Jed called her the B word.
yeah,
Then once he called her the B word, it just went up after that because she
yeah,
was like, "Oh no, get him." And then when
yeah,
she said that, remember, uh, Lavelle was standing right there, and he was trying to break it up because he was
right,
trying not to get them to not fight. So
right.
kudos to that part because he did try and stop it. But Kamal pushed Lavelle. When Kamal pushed Lavelle, mind you, they don't like each other. They
Yeah,
they both mess with Henyard. So of course they're not friends. So with him pushing him and he trying to stop the fight, I'm sure he was thinking like, why the fuck this dude just pushed me?
that's it's funny you say that because when I saw the footage, that's when something that that's when I kind of realized because I didn't know who Lavelle was, but when I
Mm-hmm.
watched the footage slowly, I did see him try to break it up, and then Kamal pushed him, and Lavelle took off on him.
Yeah, because remember, DeMarcus was right behind Kamal.
Right,
And DeMarcus called himself, I guess, pulling Kamal back while Kamal was pushing Lavelle. And then Lavelle was trying to stop Jed. But then
right,
Lavelle stopped and he was like, wait a minute, did this dude just push me? And then that's
right,
when he reacted. Because remember, he just
right.
started like
Yeah,
swinging.
yeah. No,
So, yeah.
it definitely it's been a something like a powder keg, as they say.
Yep.
It seemed like it was gonna go off sooner or later, but I think that Jed had to expect something physical once he said
Yeah.
those words because I just don't see a situation where you're gonna say all that stuff and then it just nothing
No.
happens. You
But
know what I'm
but
saying?
but you know what? With her being in leadership, and I'm gonna defend Jed on this one.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be able to take it. You are supposed to be able to take all of the public scrutiny that people throw out to you. You shouldn't be mayor or supervisor if you don't want people showing up to your house. You should do the right thing. You should have actually did right by Fania and actually instill an investigation to see what happened between her and Andrew Holmes. It wouldn't even be this bad if she would just do the right thing. So again, I don't like that he called her out of her name, but I don't blame him for saying what he said to incite what he did because as a public official, she should have never pushed that desk away and ran out there and kicked her heels off to jump into a man's fight. She should have
I'm,
never did that.
I'm glad you said that too because that's the larger part of the conversation, and this is so interesting, and that's why I wanted to go over this part with you because there is an argument like we just finished talking about the side of saying, yo, it's kind of cringy to bring up people's family, call someone a
Mm-hmm.
bitch, and all that stuff. But at the same time, You're right. If you're a public official, and also too, let me back up. At the end of the day, I'm not judging. I actually think that Jedediah, he said what he said. I personally wouldn't have handled it like that. I wouldn't have said that. However, he didn't actually start the fight. So I think that's important to
No,
put
he
in
didn't.
context.
He walked away, and they were coming for him.
Right.
So he was going back to his seat. And remember, everybody was saying he was walking towards Tiffany. No, he was in the second row. He was
Right.
to the right of me in the second row, him and LaVelle. He yielded his time to LaVelle because LaVelle was about to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't going, like the news say, well, he was walking towards Tiffany. No, he was not. He wasn't going to go up there and attack her. He was going to go sit his ass back down.
Yeah.
And what happened was she sicked her dogs, like she always do, on us residents. And she did that to him, and she did that to LaVelle.
And this is, I'm glad you said that too, because this is where I think the biggest mistake, this is the biggest mistake for her, because this is the crash out of all crash outs at this
The
point, right?
biggest.
I mean,